Get started, I'd like to ask everybody in the room, if you received a medical bill today on the way to the hospital, would you know what aspect you were responsible to pay versus your insurance provider? Raise them really, really high so I know. Okay, nobody. So we're on the same page. And with that, would you be able to make a phone call and find out without being on hold for maybe an hour or more? And God forbid, like maybe searching a document? There's no way. So imagine that now applied to a business, one of the largest hospital networks in the country, Our Lady of the Lake. Our team name is ContraLake, and we were sponsored to solve that exact problem for them.
So, let's begin with the quick story. Imagine an employee named Mike who's working at a busy hospital. But today he's given a task to find a specific clause in a contract. Mike then goes to a shared drive and search with hundreds and even thousands of contracts. Hours turn into minutes, but he can't find the specific detail he's looking for. And this is a reality of many healthcare organizations. Managing contracts can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack, time-consuming, inefficient, and prone to errors. But today, let us see how AI can transform this. AI can help managing contracts and help people like Mike to search a contract within seconds and even minutes. So today, let us see how AI can help us.
So what are our project objectives? First, let's talk about speed and accuracy. So a traditional contract analysis can be time-consuming and can contain human error. So with the incorporation of AI, it can allow contracts to be scanned, processed, or even identified at a more faster rate to find important information. This can not only save time, but also ensure that information is found without mistakes. This also leads to reducing risk. So whenever we're dealing with lengthy, complex contracts, it can be easy to overlook certain details or information. So AI can help minimize these risks by allowing contracts to be thoroughly looked through to find obligations, maybe deadlines, or even inconsistency with clauses that the human eye may miss, ensuring that nothing slips through the cracks. Lastly, that also leads us to decision-making efficiency. So since contracts can contain dense, complex information, it can sometimes be very hard to understand or read through that just because of the information that's inside of there. So AI can streamline the decision-making process to help summarize relevant events and to help a person make an informed choice with more added confidence. So overall, leveraging AI can transform the contract management system to make it more reliable and faster, allowing a team to focus their efforts on more strategic, high-value tasks.
Thank you, Catherine. Wow. Okay, so first let's digest this information right now. This is a lot to handle, and this is probably the easiest thing that we did this semester. What this beautiful monstrosity represents is our RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation, end-to-end workflow for processing payer contracts using a multitude of tools such as document summarization and vector search. But that was for the engineers in the room. So for those of us who speak English, let's dive down into the 4 main steps that allow us to do processing payer contracts. Number 1 is upload contracts. So users are able to upload the contracts within the in-chat upload feature or through the backend system. And this process is supposed to be user-friendly as possible. So there's no need for complicated procedures or any manual formatting. This is meant so that the system is able to coalesce all the contracts together and work its magic. And this is also so that it doesn't miss any contracts and so that no contracts are overlooked or misplaced. Step 2 is filter key details. So the LLM instantly scans through the document and tries to pick out the most important pieces of information. And so these can be things such as renewal terms, reimbursement rates, or termination clauses, right? And you can think of it like a highlighter that runs at lightning speed. And the AI doesn't just do this on its own. It also utilizes tools such as vector search, which you can think of as advanced keyword searching, advanced keyword matching, and the SQL database to ensure that information you're getting is accurate and precise. Now that brings me to step 3, assemble data. So this is where the data is worked in tandem with the vector search and the database to pull forward complete information. After gathering all the key details, the information is then looked through the existing database, as well as using vector search to find similar or related documents, just like that advanced keyword matching I spoke of earlier. And after doing this, it's able to bring all the pieces together to give you the best information and the most reliable and on-spot information that you can have for that contract as well as any related documents. It's not about getting information, it's about making sure that information is reliable and ready to act on. So this is exactly what this step does. And lastly, step 4, which is retrieve and review. So users get all of this information after gathering the key details and finding related contracts right in their chat interface at their fingertips. And what this means is that after gathering all this information, ContraLake summarizes all of this information into a clear and summarized, detailed insight that allows users to search for specific terms within that contract. And especially if you're looking for like a singular clause or even want to compare multiple contracts across multiple broad subjects, this does it for you. And what is the major point of all of this, right? The point of all this is so that we can cut down on a multitude of hours of manual work trying to find the specific issue or the specific comment that we need within that document. And you can do that within seconds. And ContraLake does that just for you.
All right, so imagine for a second that you're a busy hospital executive. You have a long contract and you need to answer some questions about it. One sec. You have a long contract and you need to answer some questions about it. You can take that document, drag it into the chat, and say, hey, ContraLake, can you summarize this contract and generate payer coverage tables from it? As soon as you click send, ContraLake will start processing that document page by page, converting it to a format it can understand, and then storing it in your session history so that in case you have any follow-up questions, there's no additional action on your part needed to process them. Now, once it has finished those processing steps, it'll generate your concise summary, being sure to include all pertinent details and the payer coverage tables you asked for. For this particular contract, ContraLake split it into inpatient and outpatient services that you can expand for quickly gleaning the information you need. And also you read that and you say, wait, ambulance, that reminds me. I need to see what other contracts mention ambulance services. ContraLake's got you covered. You can type in the chat, hey ContraLake, what other contracts mention ambulance services? It'll search through all of your contracts and compile a list of contracts that mention ambulances and include links to them for reference. But now you say, wait, zoom out. How many contracts do I have expiring in the next 18 months? ContraLake's got you covered again. It'll again search through all of your contracts one by one, determining the precise count and a few examples of contracts that will be expiring, along with their title, a link, the payer, provider, and the expiration date. Now, that was pretty quick. Let's rehash what just happened. In 90 seconds, we summarized a 24-page contract. We read through all of our contracts, potentially hundreds, to determine the number that expire in the next 18 months. And then we also found all of the contracts that mention one specific type of service. That's crazy. In 90 seconds, we did what otherwise would have taken up to 90 hours of manual payer contract research. And those aren't 90 hours of fun and play either. That's 90 hours of tedious, hard work that sometimes feels like pulling teeth. And these questions weren't an exhaustive list of what ContraLake can do. The back and forths you have with ContraLake allow you to glean important trends and insights that are actionable and can inform your contract management and negotiation processes. Now, it's really hard to overemphasize how game-changing ContraLake could be for the contract payer research space. The time you save with ContraLake allows you to dedicate more time and resources to providing the quality care that patients need and deserve.
Thank you for the wonderful demo, Raiden. So as mentioned before, our app aims to transform how contracts are handled using retrieval augmented generation and in-chat upload. So as you can see, our results show that there's a positive increase and a positive decrease. So there's an increase in speed of contract analysis, time to process, review contracts is significantly reduced so the users can focus on decision making rather than trying to find the information. This has directly decreased time spent on manual research, as any questions about contracts is just one keyboard search away. Access to critical details for decision making is also increased, so users can make confident decisions. This has directly decreased errors in identifying contract exceptions, as first, you can find all the critical details, and our model ensures that no key information is missed. Third, there's an enhanced collaboration as teams can quickly review, analyze, process contracts in real time. This has directly decreased the effort in understanding legal jargon, as first, teams can quickly discuss and analyze legal terms. Second, you can also follow up with our model as there's an in-chat session memory. Third, our model simplifies complex legal terms for non-legal professionals, providing clarity.
Now that we've explored everything we've done this semester and what it accomplished, let's take a look at what we would do if we had more time and money. The first would be to achieve HIPAA compliance. This is incredibly costly and time-consuming. However, it would allow us to dive all the way through the healthcare value chain. And then while we're at it, let's try to make the world a better place. So what we'd like to do is expand across adjacent markets. And I know probably as you're looking at these or watching the demo, you know exactly how this could apply all around the world. The first most applicable sector we see is legal services. If you've ever dealt with a lawyer, you know they love to bill hours. And in America, we really love long contracts for some reason. A tool like ContraLake would allow a lawyer to not only bill less hour to their clients, but take on more clients, so everybody wins. In insurance, if you've ever had to file a claim, you also are aware of the nightmare that is. Crossing state lines and the near infinite amount of implications that can take place is just more paperwork. And finally, the public sector. If you've ever gotten your driver's license or a passport, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You probably woke up at 7 to try to beat that line, and already it was 2 hours long. Or you tried to make a phone call just to get a quick question answered, and again, 2 to 3 hours long. You might have taken off work entirely or skipped half the day. These should not be cultural norms, and in no amount of quick time would regulation or reform solve this, but AI definitely can.
With a system like ours that deals with contracts with possibly sensitive or private information, we always want to ensure secure data handling. That's why our system is made to be housed directly within Our Lady of the Lake's internal database. Then we can restrict users to only those authorized personnel who would be using the information. So only users with permissions would have access to the system. Other concerns with AI querying of such important data is mitigating bias and maintaining accuracy. If you've ever used ChatGPT before, then you know AI can lie. Or more technically, it can hallucinate data. To prevent this, we've engineered specific and tested prompts to ensure that the only information being returned from the model is information coming directly from the specified contracts. But these are healthcare contracts, and our data cannot, and our system cannot be wrong. So all of our information is always cited with a link directly back to the contract PDF. So if you're unsure of the answer, you can always easily go back and see for yourself. With these systems, we can be confident that all of our information is always correct and secure.
We'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsors, Will Landry, Tanya Jagano, and Jason Duncan. Your mentorship is greatly appreciated. And finally, to Emil, who helped us along the technical development. Thank you.